today we are under legal methods, and the topic that we are going to look at is legal research, basically under legal methods. And nevertheless, this is the topic. It is just a topic in legal methods, but however, in front there it is a course unit, legal methods and legal research and methodology. It is a whole course unit. So basically, but here we are going to look just a few. And the good definition of legal research can be defined as the process of identifying and retrieving information necessary to support legal decision making. That's basically can be the definition of what is legal research. Nevertheless, also under legal research, or what you have to improve under legal research is that legal research brings that element that a good lawyer is a lawyer who doesn't know the law, but who knows where to find the law. So this legal research puts you in that line so that you can know where to find the law, basically. And here we are going to look at some of the sources of legal research, basically, on where we can find the law. That is the sources of legal research, basically. And some of the sources of legal research, we are going to look at, I'm going to categorize them. There's what they call the primary, which are the core sources, the primary sources of legal research. And one of it is observations. Observation, basically, this deals whereby you're making an observation on a certain thing, and at the end you make a final wrap-up of what you have seen. You have observations, we have experiments. Experiment, that is it, that if Coca-Cola, you know that is sweet, you go and test it by yourself. That is an experiment, you get. Then we also have questionnaires. Questionnaire, that is a question and answer to the question you ask and the answers you receive. The questions you may be, the answers may be received from an expert in that particular element. Then we have surveys, to make a survey. A survey is whereby you go on the ground. For example, if you are discussing on the customs of the people of Bugisu, you must first go to Bugisu and make a survey. How are those people conducting themselves? Then we have statutes. Statutes, they are also sources of legal research. Penal Code, Contract Act. So if you are employing your research, you can visit the statutes. Then you have case law, or the precedents, the decided cases. They can also be a great source of legal research. For example, Donok versus Stevenson. A lot of precedents are there. Donok versus Stevenson brought the element of the neighborhood principle under the law of negligence. Then we have rules and regulations. Rules and regulations, those certain things that are made, there are laws that are made under subsidiary levels other than parliament. Then you have customs. Customs, that is, those are norms and traditions of various societies or villages. Section 15 of the Judicature Act provides for that court must consider the customs of the people in adjudicating their decisions or final verdict. Then there are other sources of legal research whereby you have citations. Citation, basically, you have also a topic under legal methods, which is known as legal citations. Citations, those are normally on cases. We have seen that a case may be Yuga, Amatalo versus Simon Peter, ELO, ELE, among others, some letters. So this is East African Law Report. That is a citation. We have seen that Matalo versus Chezuto, civil appeal number, this and this, HCB, High Court Criminal Division, among others. So realize that that citation helps. Then we also have references. References, also we have seen that reference your work. These references point whereby you have derived. It is like it shows where you have come up with what you have said. You get. Then you have plagiarism. Plagiarism, however, is prohibited, but also nevertheless, it is a source of legal research, plagiarism. Then you also have conveying library consultations. Basically, you go to the libraries and consult. That consultation comes, it is also a source of legal research. Then you have also trainings on regarding the e-resources. E-resources, those are the electronic resources. how you can how can you can get something electronically without physically. We have the e-libraries among others. Then you have class exercises. These are also methods of legal. They are also sources of legal research, whereby here I realize that the exercises that are made in class, they can be a source of legal research. Then you have recommended readings by various writers and scholars. Those readings can also act as sources of legal research. By Lord Denning, Atkinson, Kanyihamba, among other. Those prominent people that are worthy to get to get a test from their knowledge. Then you also have accuracy. Can also be a source of what? Legal research. Accuracy, that something must be accurate. You get. Another one, we have the catalogs and their purposes. A catalog is whereby authors are arranged alphabetically, also in the library. That each book, this is this author, this is William Shakespeare, this is Montesquieu, this is Dicey. So that is a catalog. Then we have an index. Index, this is the arrangement of books by the general subject. Then we have class marks. We are not looking at the marks in classes, but this is where a number or letter codes on the pine labels of print library materials as books on journals. You get, there are numbers or letter codes on pine labels of books library. For example, it may be a book of legal methods by Ian MacLeod, labeled 340.4 MCL. That is a class. Those are class marks. Then you also have the dissertations. These are research papers made by students completing their bachelor's or masters, basically. So those are the dissertations. So basically, you also have living along the sources and how you can find the law. You also have the steps taken while conducting legal research. We have there are around 7 steps. One of it that you have to make sure is identifying the problem. You must first identify the problem. After, the purpose of carrying out research. Another one is identifying the sources of law. Another one, knowledge of the facts of the problem, or the facts that you are going to handle, the problem that you are going to handle, the analysis of the facts. Then you have the legal problem to be determined. Then you also have the techniques of note taking, the techniques that you are going to use, maybe by sample, by observation, among others, the techniques that you are going to use to come up with a final essay of your research. Then you have the citations that you are going to use. For example, when you relate to the Interpretation Act, around section 14 to 15 there, you'll understand what they mean by citations. Then at last we have the references and the bibliography, where you have described your research, which books have you visited, anything that you have that you have used in the aid to help you to come up with the final research. So that comes up. Those are some of the steps taken in legal research. Then under legal research, another area or topic that they ask is that the advantages of legal research. The advantages, basically, these ones, they are not so special, whereby even if you sit write down, you can write them down. One of it is a supplementary to the area of practice, basically. Supplements on the area of practice. It helps you to focus on the facts of the case, and also support your case in identifying the necessary ingredients to come up with to succeed. It helps advocates prepare for their cases in court. It is a foundation for good practice, for good legal advice, for good legal practitioners. It helps to acquire knowledge of certain topics, that is legal research. Actually, I'm highlighting the advantages. It is a new, actually it brings in new legal authorities in form of legal context and the books that you have come up with. It is helps in the development of critical thinking skills, among others. It also helps in the development of skill of legal research writings and findings. Helps one to know where to find the law. Basically, that is key. Helps one to find where to find the law, as you have seen as the sources, the various sources. So it helps you to find where to find the law. It helps you to. It is also used in study purposes, basically. Legal research. It helps in study purposes, whereby students make research to pass exams, basically. So, among other advantages, but nevertheless, those are some of the advantages of legal research. But thank you for listening and thank you for being on.